Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 5, episode 7, and today we've got possibly our most crucial game of the run-in with Torquay United. It's a playoff contending clash as we play 5th place MK Dons when we're just one behind them in 6th. As you can see, things are still going okay. I was a little bit disappointed in the last month before we picked up our form again, but I'm trying to remember that we've just come up and our goal for this season was to be solid in mid-table. We're competing towards the playoffs, and even if we do miss out, I have to know it's a season of progress. We've also made more changes in the January window than normal, so I have to bear that in mind too, and hopefully next season we'll be ready to kick on and get promotion. But if we can get an experience in the playoffs, it could be a really good thing for us. One as an achievement, 2 days out for the fans, a bit more for the finances in the club, but also just to give us that experience next year in case we miss out on the top 2 and end up in them again. We've got our beloved Luton Town up there as well, so as long as they beat MK Dons to promotion, I don't really mind. But let's try and help them with that today by getting a result against the franchise. Since you were last with me, we've had 2 things we've got to talk about. The youth intake, obviously, and plenty of results as well. So let's go and have a look at the under-18s. They're still on trial at the moment. Again, it was a bit disappointing despite all the upgrades. So Jordan Slater was the best of the bunch in terms of potential. He's got a potential to be a 3.5-star player. He's a number 10 but can play up front or in central midfield. A good shadow striker. Again, unambitious. I don't understand in this save. We've got loads of professional staff, including the head of youth development, and it's just not having an impact on the player personalities, where normally that's the key aspect. But if we can get him working with people, he should do well, and hopefully he'll develop quite nicely. We did have one other one that was a little bit weird. Johnny Donnelly, who's 1.5-star player, but he's only got the potential to improve a tiny bit. So they're saying at 16 he's almost reached his potential already. He's a decent winger. He's not really got the technical attributes. It's just because he's quick. He's been rated better than he probably is. So we'll see how he develops. But if he hasn't really got much more to give, then he's never going to make it past non-league. So for the 3rd year in a row, the youth intake's been wrapped up a lot quicker than we expected. So let's go and quickly have a look at our mentoring groups for the ones we've brought into the club. So Johnny Burns, obviously our significant captain at the club. He's a brilliant team leader with a professional personality. So we've got the likes of Reece Williams, McCabe and Courts working with him. But more importantly now in the midfield, we've got influential players in Butcher and List, both fairly professional, and they're working with some of the youngsters at the club, so Devine, Richards and Weir, to try and develop their personalities. We mentioned briefly in the last episode about Greg Weir. We gave him a special mention because he'd gone from a low determination up to a balanced personality and was improving in training. And this is a bit of a glimpse into how we've achieved that. So those players, the experienced ones in particular, deserve plenty of credit. They're the ones that we missed out on having last year, the likes of Butcher and List, that will hopefully help us in this promotion or playoff chase where we almost stuttered last year and threw away the title. So let's look at the results since the last episode. There's just a few to discuss. We were obviously here for the 1-0 defeat against Charlton. It capped off a very disappointing week after lots of disappointment across the board. But in March we've done okay. We've had an unbeaten month, although it started fairly scrappily with 2 poor draws. A 0-0 at home to Southend. They were down in the bottom half and we never looked like winning. Matt Butcher picked up a knock in that one too and will be making his first start since today. We then drew 1-1 at Colchester. Adam Lewis with the goal in that one, getting a rare start, but it wasn't enough to give us a victory. We had to rotate a few in that one, as many were fatigued from the game 3 days earlier. However, we got a brilliant win at home to Sheffield Wednesday, 1-0 with Elliot List getting the winner. We didn't realise something about Sheffield Wednesday at the time, which I'm going to show you in a second. A full house for that one, and a brilliant result to go with it. We then followed up with a 3-2 win away at Cheltenham. We were 3-1 up at half time, nearly threw it away but just about hung on. We've dropped Owen Jack for a few of these games as he's still been having a tantrum, but he will be back in today. And then at home to Exeter, I cannot explain how we didn't win this game. We went 1-0 up early in the second half, but Alex Bass just made a rare mistake towards the end and it really cost us. If we go and have a look at the match stats for it, just so you can see how dominant we were, 24 shots to 5, and in terms of on target it was 13 to 2. We didn't have as much possession, but of course that doesn't matter too much, although they did have the only clear-cut chance of the match, which wasn't the one they scored. So a disappointing way to come into this, particularly against the local rivals who are battling relegation. But back to the news about Sheffield Wednesday. They are rock bottom of League One and pretty much relegated already. They've actually made a bit of ground in recent weeks. They were further behind than that, so their last 2 results must have been decent. Let's go and have a look to see how they're getting on. They won 2-0 away at Burton in the last game, and the week before that, which was the game after they lost to us, they drew at home to Rotherham, who are top of the league. So that's given them a little fighting chance, but it still looks like Sheffield Wednesday are going to be in League 2. So a big job for someone there, as I've no doubt the third manager of the season will get sacked. But we're not going to worry about that today. We're focused on the other end of the table. So let's get into our match against MK Dons. It's the reason we're here. If we lose this game, we can pretty much write off the playoffs. If not, we're going to have a grandstand finish to the season. And the last day of the league campaign could be a brilliant one when we come back for the next episode. MK Dons are slight favourites. We've both been in okay form without being spectacular. And we can look at our lineup, which is becoming ever more familiar for today's game. We've made one change with Elliot List dropping out in place of Nico Williams, but other than that we're pretty much at full strength, with Bass in goal, Kenlock and Facey the fullbacks, and Williams and Byrne forming their old school partnership again in the middle. McDonald, Butcher and Clark in the midfield 3, Butcher back from injury, he's made a couple of sub appearances but will be back in the starting 11, and then McKendry, Williams and Jack the front 3. The likes of McComb, List and Elliot Lee are on the bench, and we've got some good defensive options too. So let's get into the match, and fingers crossed we can get the result we need to stay in touch with the playoffs. A draw would be fine, a win would be even better. They've matched us up in terms of formation and they've got a quick man up front too, so hopefully Owen Jack will put his problems aside and play for us today, and as long as he's at his best, we've got a chance of winning any game. We're going to tell him to go out and cause an upset, as apparently our assistant thinks we're bigger underdogs than we are. We still haven't given him a new contract yet, so it could be all changed towards the end of the season. I have no idea where we've changed to our away kit today. In fact, I think it might even be our third kit, and it clashes with MK Don's white strip, as it's not far off white itself. 5 minutes gone, it's 0-0, and there's not been any chances so far. But here come MK Dons down the left. Moore Taylor gets it back from Gilby. Tullock, the front man, gets it to the edge, deflects off the centre half, and it's behind for a corner. It could have gone anywhere once it hit the man. I can see Jack Stacey, the former Luton fullback, playing for Bolton there. That's a good signing for them, as McDonald comes away from the cleared corner. We've got a man over on the left if he's got the ability to switch it, but he doesn't, and he's just forced to win the throw. Although he got away and made ground, which is all we can ask for. We've got the ball on the right again. Williams to Facey. An overlap there. A wait time to come back. We thought we would have come back a bit earlier in the move. But Jack's in the box. The shot deflects away. It falls to Clark and now McKendry. He's rattled the crossbar with his weak foot. And Nesbitt for MK Dons just chucks it away for a throw-in. They're desperate there as Jack Clark picks up an injury. And we've got a substitution to make. Butcher will switch to the other box-to-box role. Stephen McComb's back in earlier than he thought. We're trying to rotate these lads, get them plenty of football without playing them too much. So McComb's developing quite nicely for us. He stayed 3-star even as other lads have developed. Fairly professional personality, still got 5-star potential, and has appeared in nearly every game in the league, although many of them are off the bench. So hopefully he can contribute today, and we'll get back into the game and wait and see if he can make an impact. It's MK Dons with the ball with Sowerby. It deflects out to Gilby and now Sibley. 3 similar names in the middle there. That's difficult. Moore Taylor charges into the box, but Facey deflects it behind for a corner. Had to be careful sliding in the area, but did just enough. The corner's headed away by Reece Williams. It's the one thing we've really gained from him being in there, although we haven't still looked at our best at the back. Delaney gets it out to Sowerby, who's got time on the wing, and the fullback areas are still a bit weaker, which is where we're conceding these chances. Shay Facey was a really solid player to get us out of League 2, and has done okay at this level, but certainly isn't one of the best in the league. It's definitely the weak link of the team in terms of defensively, and we've just got to look to improve that in the summer. We've mentioned about our issues on the left wing, and we'll have to work on that too, but defensively, if we can keep clean sheets, we can get by with one poorer player in attack. Owen Jack brings the ball down brilliantly in the box. His first touch was good, but the second one was a bit slow, and it deflects off the defender for a corner. McKendry with an outswinger, Burns at the front front post, but it just falls down for the keeper as Owen Jack was trying to pounce. 10 minutes to the break and it's still goalless. But we've got a throw on the right with Facey. Jack flicks it on, but Moore Taylor's done enough. Delaney goes back to the keeper Moore. They're playing it out very casually from the back, but it seems to have worked for all them, and now Williams is in down the right hand side. There's a man unmarked in the middle, but we've slowed the pace down. The cross deflects, and Bass just about gets there on his goal line. He gathers the ball easily, and we can start a counter-attack. Out to the far right hand side. McGinn heads it away, but only as far as Conor McKendry. We've called him the weak link in attack, but he delivers a brilliant cross there, although Owen Jack heads it straight at the keeper. Poor from him, but we're still creating chances. It's half time then. We've looked fairly threatening in this one. A pretty even game. You could argue we've just edged it, but this would be a good performance and point if we could take it. Let's get into the second half as MK Dons have the kick-off. Sibley gets it back to Moore Taylor. He goes down the line to Sowerby. Sowerby down the left-hand side to Nesbitt. Nesbitt cutting in, no one's closing him down, shoots from the edge and it's blocked by Williams, and McDonald hacks it away as the highlight ends. We've got a corner now. McKendry delivers an outswinger. Jack gets up, hits the post and Williams clears. A bit unfortunate there, but it's just not going for us today. Kenlock hits it over the top down the left, but it had too much on it, and now Sowerby brings it away. We've got a few attacking players not performing to their best, so we'll make another change or two now. Nico Williams will come off for Elliot List. He was the man who was playing in his place before the last game. We'll leave the last sub for now, but we'll only leave it 5 or 10 minutes. A quarter of the game to go, and we've just got to try and nick a goal, but make sure we stay solid at the same time. Perrett's got it for MK Dons on the edge of the box. As I say that, Walsh has a speculative effort. It was a wonderful one though, and only just went over the net. Bass was diving, he was a little bit worried, but we got away with it. Moore Taylor gets the ball inside to Walsh. It's all MK Dons at the minute, but we're holding them off well enough. We've just got to stop the balls into the box. Walsh again, the danger man. Sowerby back to Walsh again. They're just keeping it in the middle, the 2 or 3 of them. Sowerby's got so much space to run into though, but again a deflected shot and it's straight into the arms of Bass. But immediately we're charged with another MK Dons attack. Tullock gets it to Sowerby. Sibley on the edge of the box back to Walsh. Walsh to Moore Taylor on the left. They've got so much time and space and we've just got caught behind the ball a bit here. We might have to get a shout out in a moment to demand a bit more from the lads. McKendry wins it back from a sloppy pass though. Jack flicks it on, but there's no one up there with him in support as we've been stuck too deep in our own defensive third. It's a long ball by MK Dons and again they've just got time and space to bring it away. Tullock gets the ball but we win it back with a good sliding tackle. McDonald back to Kenlock. Jack's in 1-on-1. Can he finally score? Beats the sliding tackle and slides it into the bottom corner. If nothing else works then go route 1 and trust in Owen Jack no matter how unhappy he is. 15 to go. We might make another change, but I just want to go back and see this corner out. Sowerby delivers to Sibley. Oh, we've left him unmarked. 70 minutes, all that hard work to nick a goal, and then we throw it away within 2 with some awful defensive work. We're going to demand more from the lads and see if we can do something in the last 10 after we've made our final change. Bar Owen Jack, any of the front 6 could come off. McComb's not had the best game since he came on. I'm just seeing if there's anywhere I can switch him to. I'm just going to drop him to a support duty. McKendry's the man we're going to bring off. Elliot Lee will come in as an inside forward just to try and get that extra bit of support up to Owen Jack, and we'll see if it works. Elliot List is preferring the support role as a winger. Let's see if we can make a difference. One more chance and we could nick it. The MK Dons players are disinterested with the feedback, so hopefully that'll help us, but Elliot Lee was standing off the pitch there, which probably won't. Walsh has got the ball in the middle of the pitch for Williams. Back to McGinn. It's all MK Dons pressure. We're just hitting them on the counter. We've only had a third of the possession in this match. Owen Jack's charging through the defence though. There's 2 in the middle, but he goes alone. Great save by the keeper, and it's behind for a corner kick. There's Oren Jackson coming on for MK Dons. We had him in our Stockport save in FM19. He was a really good player for us there. That was in the National League North, so he must be a little bit better in this year's game as Tullock comes away for MK Dons. George Williams with a switch of play. Perrott wins the header. Williams flicks it away. McDonald again with a big hoof down pitch. He seems to be in no nonsense mood today, and with a minute plus stoppage time to go, we just hope we can hold on. It's Facey with a throw on the right to McDonald. Plays a 1-2 with him inside to Butcher. Can we create that one more chance? It's out to the overlapping Kenlock on the left. Into the middle, Jackson heads away. Flicked on as far as Butcher and the highlight ends. But now it's Owen Jack with a dangerous free kick. Goes for the shot over the wall. But it's straight at Moore and it was effectively a back pass. Moore will clear the ball away. There's no end to this highlight just yet. But Facey will get there easily and work it down the line. Jack's running over the top but the keeper will get there. And with 30 seconds left, it looks like neither side will get the breakthrough. We said we'd be happy with a point at the start. We have created some good chances and the clearest ones of the match. But overall, MK Dons have dominated possession and largely the territory too. So a point's a fair result and we'll be happy enough if we can hold on. But we may have spoke too soon as Facey's forced to hack it away and Moore Taylor brings it back down for Jackson. Inside to McGinn. Now Sowerby. Back to McGinn again, the centre half for MK Dons. Out to Williams on the right. They've got one last chance to cross it, but Burns strong in the box and clears it away. And the final whistle goes. It's a point on the road. We stay in playoff contention and drawing with one of the 5 sides above us in the league, I suppose is a decent result. The biggest worry is obviously the injury to Jack Clark. McComb looked a bit out of sorts when he came on and everyone else is a little bit behind them in terms of their development. So hopefully he'll be okay and we need to get Owen Jack happy again as that will make the biggest difference. Sean Taylor told us to tell the lads we were happy with what they did. So we've done just that. They all look pleased enough, so let's see where it leaves us in the league. We've dropped out of the playoff places, but Lincoln probably had an easier game. They won away to 11th place Mansfield, so perhaps not in that instance, but we're still up there in contention, just 2 points off 5th and 6th place. So hopefully that means it's all to play for. We'll come back for the last game of the season. Let's see who it's against. Shrewsbury were playing at home on the last day. They're in 12th place, mid-table, nothing to play for. And as a result, hopefully we'll be able to win that one if we need it to get in the playoffs. But obviously after today's result it's not in our hands, so we can't complain if we're not there. But either way, it's been a very good season. We're definitely not at risk of going back down, and we're definitely going to finish in the top half too. Let's finally look at Jack Clark's injury. He's out for 7 months. Oh dear, it couldn't have been worse. That's going to be the end of his time at the club, we think. They normally lose so much of their physical attributes during that time and never really recover them. Although he's got decent stamina, he's not the best lad physically to start with. So I'm worried for him and it looks like we're going to need a first team replacement sooner rather than later once the season finishes. We'll talk to Clark. We'll tell him to focus on his recovery. Hopefully he'll be okay. He says he won't let it get the better of him, but we'll see his stats when he comes back. Owen Jack ends a goal drought, which is going to help us immensely, but we still can't talk to him as he's not happy with us at the moment. We're unbeaten in 6 games, although 4 of them were draws, so we can't say it with too much pride at the moment. We'll play the other 4 games off camera and be back for that Shrewsbury game on the final day. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what you think of our season so far. Do you think we've overachieved or do you think we need to get into the playoffs this year? Remember, it's our first year in League One, so I'm fairly happy with where we are. But obviously after being up there all season, you want to get over the line and be able to compete. We saw how effective it was for us in League 2. Getting in those playoff places gave us the confidence the following year, but we never know that lightning's going to strike twice. Who do you think I should go for to replace Jack Clark? Should I go for McComb or Richards? Richards is more natural in that box-to-box role, but McComb is very clearly the better player at the moment. He's further down the line in his development, and I'm a little bit torn at the moment. We might go for one at home and one away, just to try and match up against the type of game we're facing. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay United and our other series The Head Coach. We've had a job change and our first game at a new club in the last 2 episodes, so if you haven't seen those ones yet, go back and check them out because they've been 2 of my favourites from the series so far. So much action and drama, and hopefully you'll enjoy them if you haven't already. There's also weekly content from our FIFA 19 lower league career and our FM19 touch series with Newcastle. The latest episodes of those were both out on Friday. But a massive thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next time.